Before I start the show, I want to mention my AWS S3 command line course from Udemy. You can get that with 20% off using the link in the show notes below. So if you're manipulating AWS S3 buckets via the command line, then do check that out. Also, a massive thank you to all of the Patreon supporters for supporting How to Code Well. If you want to support the channel and if you want to get early access to some of the content, then please consider becoming a Patreon. Link to that in the show notes as well. Okay, let's get on with the show. Hello coders and welcome to another How to Code Well podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the roadmap for the howtocodewell.net website, the new site that we've been creating live on Twitch for quite a long time. So this is the roadmap. This is how I foresee it going live, and I'm going to talk about some timelines and stuff like that. It's actually quite a nerve-wracking piece of content, this, because I'm basically holding myself accountable for when I think it will be ready to be put live. And if it doesn't hit this date, then you are more than welcome to have a go at me on Twitter. So, okay, what we're going to do first of all is I'll talk about what the website is for anybody who doesn't yet know, and then I'll talk about when I think it will go live, and we'll work back to current day and talk about the things that I need to put in place. So, the website. This is the replacement of howtocodewell.net as it stands. The current website it's built in a very old version of Symfony, and it's actually really hard coded. So there isn't any backend, there's no content management system or anything like that. So if I have to change something on that website, I literally have to go into the code, into the Twig templates and play around with it. It isn't ideal whatsoever. It also doesn't have all of the courses, all of the videos that I do. So, you know, it's not doing what it needs to do, essentially. The new website is a complete rebuild from the ground up. It's using Symfony in the back end. It's got a content management system. It's got an API. The front end is Gatsby.js, so a static front end. It has the ability for people to log in and create their own account, their How to Code Well account, and you can watch courses and tutorials on that. On the new site. It also has a section in there for the blog, which is built in Ghost. It's also got parts in there for getting resources for programming and other things like that, really. It's also got a subscription platform. So this is pretty much the core of this at the moment. This is my platform that I'm trying to develop, that people can access my courses, and either through a free subscription, a free tier, or a monthly or a yearly subscription, you can access premium videos depending on whether they're within those tiers or not. And yeah, it's been in development for a very long time. For years and years it's been in development. And I was working on a piece of code the other evening, and I had a look back to when the class was actually created, because if you use PHP Storm and you create a new class, it will automatically come up with some comments at the top. This class that I was dealing with was built way back in 2018, December the 3rd at 7:02 in the morning. This was me probably commuting off to see a client, and I was working on the train. So this has been a very long-winded project, and I don't want to give excuses as to why this hasn't gone live yet, but these are excuses. There's no way of cutting this in any other way. These are excuses as to why this hasn't gone live yet. So, number one is because I like overcomplicating things, as many developers do. So we've done a lot of work with, say, microservices, with various different technologies that, to be honest, I don't really need. And sometimes you have to overcomplicate the solution just to have that to then simplify down. So, you know, Another reason is simply because I don't have enough time to work on this. This isn't something that I've done every day. It's not something that I do, like my client work. I'm a freelancer, so all of my day is taken up with client work. That's, 8 hours of my day at least is spent coding for other people. So how to code well, this website, this system that we've been building, this has only happened over the evenings and weekends. And, there's only so many of those that you can actually do. So it's taken a very long time to get to this point. We were originally doing a design patterns course in PHP on Twitch. I was building that live on Twitch, and I made the decision that I wanted to get this live by the end of this year. And I was trying to think of ways that I could use my time more efficiently, and I decided to drop all content on Twitch and just work solidly on this application on Twitch. So I would drop the design patterns course and anything else that we were doing on Twitch, apart from the coding challenges, of course, and just work solidly on this. This means that I'm actually exposing and discussing all of these things that I'm building live. So you can actually see the journey of my decision process and building this course platform live on Twitch. I do this Tuesdays at 7 in the morning, as well as Thursdays, usually about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening, and then of course 14:30 in the afternoon. On Sundays. This allows me to have 3 times per week where I can actually work on this project. I have to do it obviously in a live manner, but this gives me 3 blocks within my week where I can actually work on this project outside of evenings and weekend work. So this was me giving myself some more time to do this. Okay, so I did say that I was wanting to get this live at the end of the year. So what I've got here in my secret squirrel notebook is a roadmap, and I want to talk about this. We'll start in December and we'll work backwards to today's date. So in December, I would like to do a hard launch. This means that I want this to be live, marketed, and out there. I want people to be using this in December. Ideally, I want this to be happening at really the first week of December, to be honest. The idea is that I want this to be finalized, or at least phase 1 finalized, by the time the year is out. I really don't want to be building the foundations for this project for another year. So for my own sanity, I want this first phase completed by hopefully the first week of December. Okay, so let's now talk about November. So the whole month of November is going to be spent building marketing campaigns. So building email campaigns, social media campaigns, also building things on YouTube as well, sort of almost little adverts before the videos and the podcasts and so what, to talk about the actual application and what's on offer there and so on and so forth. So that's really the whole of November. So November is really about marketing it, creating these campaigns are ready for December. Okay, so October is fixing bugs and acceptance testing. So we've already got a load of testing. We've got about 225 tests at the moment, split between API tests, unit tests, and integration tests. Obviously, that's going to increase. That doesn't include the acceptance tests on the front end. We've got probably about 30 of those at the moment. So they will definitely increase. And also, this really is the moment to properly hammer this application in a sort of a pre-production state, just to make sure that all the edges have been rounded correctly. Okay, so then September is the time is the month where I'm going to do a soft launch. So this is putting this into production mode, but doing it in a private way. So this isn't on a staging box because we've already got a staging server for this, but this is like another server specifically for production-esque type actions. And also, this is a time where I want to do content stocking, because at the moment we've got like 4 courses on the development site, but there's actually 17 courses. And each course has between 5 and say 25 tutorials. There's an awful lot of actual content to create and write. So that's content stocking in September. Now, I will just reiterate the fact that I'm carving this up as proper months. It's simply because I don't have a lot of time to do this. So when I'm saying the whole of September, when I'm saying the whole of October, I'm basically saying every weekend within that, which is 4 weekends, 4 Sundays worth, 4 Saturdays worth, that kind of thing. Okay, so when we hit September, I would like this to be feature frozen. So I don't want to be adding new features to this. I want to be finding bugs and fixing them. So that's a definite sort of a code freeze in September. And then we've got a block of time between August and June, because let's face it, we might as well be in June already. So that's 3 months worth of development. So this is anything that hasn't been developed already needs to go in. And as you've probably seen on Twitch, there's a lot of stuff that I need to do between these 3 months, including I need to finalize the Stripe integration. So we've got quite a good start on Stripe, so I can actually take payments, but I've got to fix some issues to do with the webhooks for things like continuing the subscription renewals and other bits like that. So that's going to happen around June. We've also got some user integration stuff that I need to fix. So things like changing the user profiles and other bits like that. So that needs to happen. That's probably going to happen in July and August. We're going to probably deal with emails, creating welcome emails and other bits like that as well. Now, for the keen ears of you all, you've probably realized that there is something that I've tried to do quite clever here. So June, July, and August, 3 months worth of dev time. September, October, November, 3 months worth of testing time. December really is the launch. Okay. So I've given myself a bit of margin of error to find and fix bugs. Come September, I really want to have a feature freeze. So no new code going in that creates new features. If there is a feature to be created that isn't part of the minimum viable product, then that goes to phase 2, which will happen post-launch. And I think one thing that has really helped with this project and get it to this point is actually have a clear definition of what the minimum viable product is. So I can keep going back to that, referring to that and going, do I actually need to do this for launch, or can this happen post-launch? That kind of thing. There's a lot of sacrifices that we've made, a lot of sacrifices, but I think it's worth it just to get this done by December, and then come next year, we'll be working through the new features. And I do hope that you've seen an evolution in the streams, because we're no longer in the stage of R&D. We're no longer researching whether or not certain technologies are useful or can be used to be a solution to the problem that has been scoped. We're now in a very well scoped state where I know the technology that I want to use, and also the features have been defined, I would say, fairly well in Jira. So what I'm doing is, when I get onto the stream, I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to write. We also have created a bunch of patterns. So, we create a test, we create the code, we test the code, that kind of thing. We've got the ability now to work on certain doctrine repositories in a particular way, certain managers in a particular way. There's things that the foundation has already been created. The code is becoming a little bit more snapped together than it was when we were first starting this out. And I think you'll see, or hopefully you'll see, another evolution of the streams, because come September, there's going to be a bigger push to test the work. And I mean acceptance testing. I don't mean just unit tests. I mean actually testing the user behavior, because hopefully by that time it would be feature complete. And so I'm just testing and basically throwing things at it, seeing what sticks, seeing what breaks, trying to basically break my own system. And then you'll see another evolution, and that will be post-live, because we are no longer working on this unknown system, this system that we're yet to scope. We're now working on a system that is live and is being used, which means that priorities will change depending on perhaps the bugs that are out there or what have you. So that's the roadmap. I hope I can get to it. I really do. I would be very annoyed if I can't get this out in December in some shape. But I do think that we can. I do think we can. However, I'm not very good with estimates. I'm not great with estimating time. I've even tried in the past to give, a big margin of error with my estimates, my dev estimates, but that never really works. The thing is, though, that because we've been doing this I've been doing this for many years, this particular project, I kind of know all the ins and outs of it like the back of my hand. I'm the only one who's developed this. So, I know the various different ways of creating entities, the various different ways of creating APIs, that kind of thing. It kind of slots together quite nicely, which means that when it comes to estimating time for future features, I think hopefully I have a reasonable grasp as to if that is actually doable. But really let's just say for my mental health, I need to get this out in December. Really need to get this out in December, because I really don't want to be coming into January and this still hanging over my head, because I need to, I need this out. So fingers crossed, and you'll be seeing a ramp up with me mentioning the howtocodewell.net website throughout the podcasts and throughout the videos as well. I say that September is going to be a soft launch, so this will be a private launch. It won't be available to the public. It's essentially a private beta. It won't have it won't have much content on there at the moment, come September, because that's the time of doing content stocking. I'm not sure yet whether I'm just going to open the floodgates out in December or just allow people to access it, on a sort of an invite basis. I don't really know yet how that looks. But come September, I hope to do another podcast like this, and I'll either start by saying, yes, we've done it, or unfortunately not. Anyway, I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's had a fantastic bank holiday from last week. I spent all of that doing Stripe integration. I need a holiday. I need this done. Anyway, happy coding, everybody. See you again soon. Cheers. Bye.